Hey everybody, I think I finally got the levels on the microphone set. So I want to walk through the learning card for modeling systems. And again, remember what the goal here is. Sorry, we're on learning card number 6. The goal here is to come up with a system of how to write these and how to use these. It's not the goal to figure out how fast we can do this. We want to come up with a system so that when things get harder, we've got a plan in place. So the first thing so here's the problem. 2 families are taking their children and friends to the zoo. First family is paying $162 for 12 children and 3 adults. The second family paid $122 for 8 children and 3 adults. How much was the admission for each child and adult? So the first thing that we talked about doing is we're going to rewrite the important stuff, okay? So rewrite the key ideas. And the 2 key ideas are this. Now we don't care where they're going. We don't care what they're seeing. The important part of what we're doing here is going to be the first family was $162 for 12 children and 3 adults. Okay. There's big idea number 1. And so we've got 12 children and 3 adults cost $162. Big idea number 2. Sometimes it's going to be identical. So like this one, it's still people going in. Sometimes it might say how many admissions there were, how much money people made. So you do need to be careful of that, but it's still the same idea. You look for some more information. You're like, ooh, second family, $122 for 8 children and 3 adults. That's big idea number 2. So 8 children and 3 adults cost $122. Now, of course, obviously pause here as you need to catch up. That's the nice thing about doing this on video. Plus, you don't have to hear my stories. So the next step, so now that we have this, you're going to write these sentences as equations. And as I note here, one of the things to remember is that common words turn into your variables. So like in this case here, we've got children in both, we have adults in both. Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is we're going to effectively make this C and this A. And we'll use those in our equations. So we're translating from the English, our key English ideas into our key math ideas. And so for the first equation from the first idea, 12C plus 3A. So again, 12 children, 3 adults equals $162. And we'll do the same thing with the other equation. 8 children and 3 adults are equals $122. Now take a second here and make sure you see where things are pulling from. Okay? Try to make sure that you understand where this information is going to here and how this information is coming down here into your equations. Now from there, step 3, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and solve. And this should already be right in your wheelhouse. We did a quiz on this. You have a learning card for this. We've been doing it off and on over the last 2 weeks. So we're going to take, now again, when you write this stuff out, you may have already written your 2 equations in a very, very nice, neat form. We're going to go ahead and do this. So I've got 12C plus 3A is equal to 162. And I have 8C plus 3A is equal to 122. And then again, remember, since this is a system, there's usually some indication that they're connected like that. Now again, we have elimination, we have graphing, we have substitution, and we always said, remember, graphing is probably the least likely thing that we'll do. Elimination and substitution will probably be much more easy. Notice here, I've got 3a and 3a. Some of you guys forgot that you need a zero pair here. So I need to multiply one of them through by a negative 1. So the negative 1 goes times 8c, and I get negative 8c. Negative 1 times 3a minus 3a. The equal stays a negative 1 times 122 for a negative 122. The other equation is fine because, again, you're looking so that one variable will disappear when I add these up. And so already, as hopefully you can see, that is my zero pair. So when I add these up, and when I say add, so when I combine these, I'm going to go 12c minus 8c. That becomes 4c. This is 0, so we don't have to worry about that. Equals 40. So you end up here with an answer that c is equal to 10. Now what is that? Remember, we're talking about costs here. So in fact, we could go up here and we're like, okay, it's not just 3 children, 3 adults. Cost. Okay, so this is the child cost, and this is the adult cost. So we can kind of redefine our variables a little bit closer. So we know the children are $10 each. So we don't forget, we'll put that there. Now just go ahead and go back here, and we're going to plug that into one of the equations. So I'm going to take 8 times 10 in this case, plus 3a is equal to 122. It looks like we're close to running out of room. My apologies. So I get 3a is equal to 42. So when you divide that out, you end up with a is equal to 14. So that's the adult value. So adults were $14 to get into the zoo for the party. Kids were 10. Another reason to get a membership, people. Now in step 4, this is the one thing that you always need to make sure we do. It's not good enough just to leave variables there. If you're looking at this, you're like, I mean, this is part of the problem when you get home and you look at this type of problem here and you're like, great, what do I do? Where's my answer? I don't know. And that's why it's good to summarize your answer. And that's what we're going to do over here in section 4. So we'll say for the birthday party, or for the party, children's tickets were $10 each, and adult tickets were $14 each. Okay? And then you're done. Now again, there may be different ways to write it, write sentences here. There may be different ways in terms of setting stuff up, but the same main key idea is still here. Okay? Rewrite your key ideas, come up with your So, key ideas, come up with your equations, solve it out, and then you're going to summarize it. All right, I will see you on Friday or later today. We'll talk to you soon.